How's it going? A lot of you guys probably know about Michael. He was killed October 22nd, 2011. Ever since that day, I've done nothing but fight for him, speak for him, and do everything I can to get justice for him alongside his family and his friends, which are my friends. He was going out to celebrate his birthday, and he was accosted by police officers in a case of mistaken identity, and he ran for his life, and he was shot in the back by a police officer with an MP5 submachine gun. And one of the things that we have in common is that they said immediately that Mike made an aggressive move towards the police officers and was acting like a caged animal and attacked them. And when we got the autopsy report back, we found out he was shot in the back 3 times. So he was shot running away, he pissed off a cop, and this cop ended his life. He was going out to celebrate his birthday. He was a union carpenter. He was out with his wife. He died within 20 feet of his wife, and they wouldn't even let her come and say goodbye. That's his story. Where we come into the picture with David was the night that he was murdered. You know, we've been looking for other families. We've always been trying to fight alongside other families because we know that the only hope is fighting together. And so when David was killed and the accounts started to come out as to what happened to him, it lined up with everything we know. It sounded like a guy who was having a problem. He reached out for help, and he got judged before he even got a chance to explain himself and executed in the street. Now, we have been out, trying to find other families and reaching out and trying to respond. And one of the things that happened in Bakersfield immediately after David's death, something that Chris brought up, why wasn't there an uprising? An uprising. But, the reason why is because the Kern County Sheriffs and the Bakersfield PD clamped down on the community. They came out here and they started confiscating cell phones. They got bogus warrants and they started taking people's personal property. Witnesses were intimidated. They were told to shut up. They were told to put it away, right? And they just want that to go away. They murdered him in cold blood, and they don't want anyone to know about it, right? And we know that because they did the same thing to Mike where I live. So when we came up here and we said, hey, we're here for you, that's what we found. We found the police doing exactly what, ironically, they were doing in Ferguson a month ago. Attacking a community for standing up for one of its innocent victims. One of the people that it couldn't bear to see struck down in its streets. So we stand in solidarity with them because they stand in solidarity with us. It's the same experience, it's the same truth, right? That's why we fight so hard for each other. That's why we stand up for each other, right? And that's why we'll come from LA. If you guys want to stand up out here and you want to wake this community up, we got your back. One of the things we've talked about several times is when we see people drive by in the cars around here, when they're with us, they're with us. They got their fists out the window, they're screaming, they're feeling us. And when they're against us, they are against us, right? But the people that are against us are oppressing the people that are with us, right? That's why we need to be out here telling the truth and empowering this community. Because the only way anyone's ever going to get justice, Michael Nida, David Silva, James Moore, Martin Angel Hernandez, who is my girlfriend Sonia's brother, who was murdered in cold blood in Anaheim, executed by a cop who was gunning for him. The only way any of these people are going to get murdered or are going to get justice against a system that murdered them is if these people demand it, because we will demand it. He's not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're not going. Anybody with blood in this is not going anywhere. But these people that are driving by feeling us, we need to get them out here with us. We need to make them realize it could be you next. It will be you next if we don't do something. Right. One more thing that I want to talk about real quick about my friend Michael is that he was a union carpenter and a father of 4. He had 4 beautiful children. And after he was killed, the nightmare for them began. Not only do they lose their father, but the whole world turns away from them. And if they don't have a family to back them up, they're lost. Because David was murdered and he deserves justice, his family has a right to pursue justice in the courts of law. Because they choose to pursue justice in a court of law, David's children do not qualify. Nobody qualifies for victim rights because of the lawsuit. So these kids got to wait, and the system will drag it out. The state will drag it out. You want to know why a lot of these families settle? Because they want their kids to get some help, and they can't get any help as long as there's an open lawsuit. So the city will hold it out for 4 or 5 years while these kids are going through it and struggling, right? We know this. Martin Hernandez left behind a 3-year-old boy. My nephew is a beautiful little boy. There's so many children that are left behind here. David's family, his beautiful daughters. I'm a single father. I was a single father. I know that kind of love. I know that kind of love. That's the kind of love that never dies. That never dies. We got to stand up for these kids. We gotta rally around these children. We gotta make sure that they feel empowered and that they know that their voices matter and that their fathers mattered, their brothers mattered, their uncles mattered, that everybody matters. We put our group together, the Young Survivors, for the kids. And all we want to reach out. Do it here. Stick up for the kids. Organize around these children, because I guarantee you, they're not giving, pardon me, they don't give a shit about them at City Hall. They do not care about these kids at City Hall. We do. So we got to put our money where our mouth is. We got to put our feet to the street. We got to rally around these children and empower them to speak up for their fathers and to change this world so that they inherit something better than what we live in. Thank you.